Satnam Karta Purakha Nirpo Nirvair Akal Murat Ajuni Sapam Guru Prasad Japa Ad Sacha Jugad Sacha Happy Sacha Nanak Hosi Pi Sacha Main nahi Kach ho nahi Kich ahe na mora Ausar lajja rakh liho Sadna jan tora Ji main nahi kach ho nahi Kich ahe na mora Ausar lajja rakh liho Sadna jan tora. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. I hope wherever you are, Sangat Ji, I hope you're in Chardi Kala, you're taking care of yourselves and your loved ones during this time. And so we are back with another Sakhi of Bhai Suthrey. So I've been speaking about Bhai Suthrey for the past 2 days now. Their Sakhi and how, what kind of personality they have, and how being such a humorous Bhagat, being such a humorous Brahmgyani, they were able to give good lessons, they were able to give Sikhya and cut, or we can say, ban or stop falsehood from taking place in the Sikhs of the Guru. So today we are continuing off the Sakhi from yesterday, where by Suthrey Shah, they tell us these interesting ways of how a good Sikh goes to see the Guru, and to what extent can a Sikh go to just have the darshan of his Guru. And Bhai Suthrey Shah tells us how should we even come to the darbar of the Guru, and what kind of behavior, what kind of attitude should we have when we go and meet the Guru. So the day yesterday that we were speaking about was the day of Diwali, where so many Sangat come to have the darshan of Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji. We are continuing off the story from yesterday, where there's still so many Sangat in Amritsar Sahib. There's so many Sangat who wants to have darshan of Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji in Akal Bunga. And at the same time, Jahangir Badshah, who was a Mughal emperor at that time, he extended his invitation to Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji to come and come to Delhi to his Mughal darbar, so Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji and Jahangir Badshah could have a discussion, could speak to each other, where Guru Sahib could then tell Jahangir Badshah about Shabad Guru, about Guru Granth Sahib Ji and the message of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and Jahangir Badshah could also learn about Sikhi from Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji. By this time, Sangat Ji, Jahangir Badshah, he has already realized his mistake of causing the Shahidi of Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj. He asked forgiveness from Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji, and both of them now have a mutual relationship between each other. So Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji, they get this invitation letter from Jahangir Badshah, and because there's so many Sangat in Amritsar city at that time who wants to have darshan of the Guru, it was not possible for Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji to leave the city. And so Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji then thought that Bhai Suthrey Shah should go to Delhi and perhaps go and meet Jahangir Badshah. And so Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji calls Bhai Suthrey Shah. He says, Suthreya, I would like you to go to Delhi and go and meet Jahangir Badshah. Te Bhai Suthrey Shah kenda, Mera ki kam authe? What do I have to do over there, Guruji? I do not want to go to Delhi. I want to stay with you. Masata tuade naal, time spent karnu milya. This very little time I have with you, because all these Sangat want to have your darshan. Don't send me away. And Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji say, listen to my hukam, follow my hukam, and you have to go to Delhi. There's things for you to do there. You will understand once you're there, and I want you to meet Jahangir Badshah, and when the time comes, I will come to Delhi and I will fetch you and go home. And so Bhai Suthrey Shah being the beloved Sikh of the Guru, he couldn't say no. He had to follow the hukum of Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji. So Bhai Suthrey Shah, he goes to Delhi, and when he reaches Delhi, he gets a place to stay, but he doesn't want to go and see Jahangir Badshah just at that moment. It was because he didn't know why he was going to go to Mughal Darbar, why he had to meet Jahangir Badshah, and what he was going to do. And for someone as creative as Bhai Suthrey Shah, he always had these interesting ways of meeting people, and of course whatever he does, there's always a reason behind it, there's always a meaning, a lesson behind it. So Bhai Suthrey Shah, now they are going in the Shahar of Delhi, they are walking around in the bazaar, in the villages, in the towns, you know, in the shops, and they are observing how the Muslims and the Hindus are living in Delhi. So they are observing how these Muslims and Hindus, they call themselves dharmic people, but they are doing all these ritualistic practices, and there's no meaning to it. And whatever they're doing, whatever dharmic practices that they are doing, they don't even know what it means. So basically what they're doing is based on falsehood. It's not true. So then Bhai Suthrey Shah thought to give them all a lesson, and perhaps maybe through this lesson he will also meet Jahangir Badshah, and perhaps Jahangir Badshah would have a reason to meet Bhai Suthrey Shah as well, so that the meeting could be more interesting. So what Bhai Suthrey Shah does, this is where the interesting bit comes in, where we cannot understand why they are doing this. So Bhai Suthrey Shah, they decided to make a pair of shoes which are about the length of our arm. So if you stretch out your arm, that's the length of the shoes that Bhai Suthrey Shah got made. And he paid a big sum of money to make this pair of shoes. And it's a very interesting shape. So it becomes quite sharp at the feet, at the front of the shoe. It becomes quite sharp, and it curves above. And it has really interesting colors. One kind of shoes that no one has worn before, the color combinations that no one has seen before, and the shape of the shoes that no one has seen before as well. So it's really unique. And so Bhai Suthrey Shah gets this pair of shoes made, and in the middle of the night, what he does is, where everybody is sleeping, the whole town is sleeping, he puts one side of the shoe, so the left side of the shoe, will just, to make it easier, we'll just say the left side of the shoe, he takes that shoe, one shoe, and he puts it at the entrance of Jama Masjid, where the Muslims, before they come to do their prayers, before they come to do their namaz in Jama Masjid, they will always do their wudu. So wudu is where they do Panj Ishnana. So when we enter Gurdwara Sahib, the place where we will wash our hands and wash our feet, that's the place where the Muslims would do wudu. And so Bhai Suthrey Shah leaves the shoes at that place, and he leaves. The next morning, Bhai Suthrey Shah gets up, and he just walks around Jama Masjid just to observe what was going to happen. And so these Muslims who were coming for namaz, they were entering Jama Masjid, they were doing their wudu, washing their face, washing their arms and their legs, and they realized this piece of this shoe here. It was just one side, and it's really big, it's really huge, and it's weird looking. So some of the Muslims, some of them would just look and they would just walk away. But then what happened was that many people started observing it, and by daytime, they then called the Maulvi, called the Qazi of the masjid, just to come and see what was happening. And when the Qazi came and saw this shoe, he gasped, and he started saying Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, and everybody was asking, why Qazi ji, why are you doing that, why are you saying that, is this a miracle? And then for Muslims, they always believe in miracle. So they say, yes, last night I had a dream that Prophet Muhammad came to Jama Masjid, and looking at this shoe, I think that this is the shoe of Prophet Muhammad. He must have left it, or it must have dropped while he was going back to heaven. And this is the shoe of Prophet Muhammad. Look at the size. It's not the size of a normal human being. It's unique. We have never seen this kind of shoe before, the shape of it. So it's definitely not, it doesn't belong to any of us. It belongs to Prophet Muhammad. And everybody got so happy. They started saying Allahu Akbar, they started praising Prophet Muhammad, and the shoe was brought into Jama Masjid. They put it on a platform, they put a cover on top of it, and so nobody could touch it, and they even had bodyguards who would protect the shoes so nobody could steal it away. And what happened? Bhai Suthrey Shah is looking at all of this and is laughing, and by daytime, by noon, the whole of Delhi found out about this shoe that belonged to Prophet Muhammad. And everybody started coming to Jama Masjid to have darshan of the shoe. People were bowing, they were doing matha tek to the shoe, they were touching the shoe, they were kissing the shoe, you know, and all that. And it became such a big news that people from neighboring cities and towns, people started coming to have darshan of this shoe as well. And Bhai Suthrey Shah, they didn't thought that it would get this big, but well, since the show is going on, might as well. So Bhai Suthrey Shah, they let it be for about few months. So few months passed by, people started coming in to have darshan of this shoe, and you know, even Jahangir Badshah found out about it as well. And then one day, Bhai Suthrey Shah got bored because they didn't know what to do in Delhi, and so they decided that it's time to end this show. So what Bhai Suthrey Shah did was he took a stick, and the other pair of the shoe, the right side of the shoe, he put it up on the stick, and he started walking in the towns of Delhi, and he started calling out, Bhai, has anyone seen my other pair of shoe? Has anyone seen my other pair of shoe? I've lost it, I can't find it. It looks like this, it's really big, it's unique, it's in a different shape. You know, can anyone please tell me if you've seen my shoe? I'll be really happy and I'll give you 1 rupee. And so 1 rupee at that time would, we can say, equivalent to a few hundred ringgit at this point. So he's calling out, and people are looking at the shoe, and all these Muslims, they say that, hey, isn't this the shoe that was in Jama Masjid? Isn't this the shoe that belonged to Prophet Muhammad? And Bhai Suthrey Shah listened to these people and said, what do you mean this shoe belongs to Prophet Muhammad? It belongs to me. I've lost this shoe. Where is it? And so the Muslim, they say, it's in Jama Masjid. And so Bhai Suthrey Shah goes to Jama Masjid with the other shoe on the stick, on the pole, and he goes in and he calls the Maulvi, calls the Qazi and says, Qazi ji, I heard that my other pair of shoe is in Jama Masjid. Can you please give me back my shoe? And so the Qazi comes out and looks at that pair of shoe, and instead of being surprised, he becomes very angry. So because he looked at Bhai Suthrey Shah and this Qazi, he started calling him a kafir. Hey you kafir, how dare you say that this shoe of Prophet Muhammad belongs to you, and how dare you come here and make fun of this shoe, make fun of the masjid, make fun of Prophet Muhammad. How dare you do that, you kafir? So kafir means someone who's a non-Muslim, who's a non-believer in Prophet Muhammad. So that's what they call the non-Muslims. So Bhai Suthrey Shah said, what do you mean? This shoe belongs to me. I think you're mistaken. And so the Qazi then called the other people, called the other Muslims and said, this person here has dishonored, disrespected Prophet Muhammad and the masjid. Grab him and we have to punish him. We are going to kill him. So Bhai Suthrey Shah is now caught. He's now in deep trouble, and the Qazi said that we are going to kill you. You are going to cut your throat because you have disrespected the masjid and Islam. And so Bhai Suthrey Shah is like, this is not what I expected. And so the Muslim, the Qazi said that, do you have any last wish? Because it is customary that before we punish, we give a death sentence to the culprit, they always will have one wish, but that wish does not include being free from that death sentence. So Bhai Suthrey Shah says that, oh, I remember that I was supposed to come here to meet Jahangir Badshah. He was thinking about it. So he told the Qazi, he said, my wish is to meet Jahangir Badshah. So the Qazi looked at the other people, the other Muslims, the other Maulvi were looking at each other, and they said, well, we have to fulfill his wish. So Bhai Suthrey Shah was brought into the darbar of Jahangir Badshah, and Jahangir Badshah is questioning, who is this person here and why have you brought him to my darbar? And so the Qazi tells the whole story of what happened and says that we are going to give him death sentence, and his last wish was to meet you. And so Jahangir Badshah said, Suthrey Shah, did you really disrespected the masjid? Did you really disrespected Prophet Muhammad and Islam? Why would you do that? Whose Sikh are you? Whose disciple are you? And then Bhai Suthrey Shah said that I am the Sikh of Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji, and he sent me here to come and meet you. But it's so funny, Jahangir Badshah, that now instead of me fulfilling the duty, fulfilling the hukam of what my Guru told me to do, which was to meet you, now your own people here, the Muslims, are trying to kill me. How can you kill me so quickly? This body here, Har Mandar Eho Sareer hai, this body is the body of Allah. This body is the body that was given to me by Paramatma, by Vaheguru, whom I call Vaheguru and whom you call Allah. That God has made this body. And so much effort has been put. So look at it, Sangaji, how much Bhai Suthrey Shah with his tone, with a bit of drama in it, he's trying to win the heart of Jahangir Basha, and he tells Jahangir Basha, he said, this body is Dehi ko simre Dev, so Dehi Pajahar ki Sev. This body is even being prayed for by these Devi Devte, by these god and goddesses, that they want this body too. You know how difficult it is to get into this human body? You know how much tapa, how much japa, how much bhakti we have to do to get this body, and now you just want to kill it? You want to destroy this body? Oh Jahangir Bacha, it takes flower, it takes one flower many months to bloom, but it just takes 1 instant, 1 second to pluck it and kill it. Is that what you want to do? Just because I was looking for my shoe and it happened to be in Jama Masjid, now you want to kill me? How can you let it happen? As a Bacha, I heard that you are a friend of my Guru. Is that how a Bacha would do? Is that how a Bacha would behave? And so Jahangir Bacha is listening to this speech, this last so-called speech given by Bhai Suthrey Shah, and Jahangir Bacha is being so amazed. He is so amazed that this person, the Sikh of the Guru, is saying so much, and it's true that this body was given to us by Allah, by Vaheguru. And so then Jahangir Bacha thinks about it, and he says, yes, he is really questioning my capability as a Bacha, that I can also ensure that he doesn't go through this death sentence, and I should do that and perhaps prove a point that I am a true friend of Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji as well, and I would not let this happen to the Sikh of the Guru. And so Jahangir Bacha then tells the Maulvi that get rid of his death sentence. He's not going to go through his death sentence. I free him. I free Suthrey Shah, and you cannot punish him. And the Qazi and the Maulvi who were in the Darbar, the Mughal Darbar, they are upset because the Mughal Bacha is siding a Kafir instead of the Maulvi. But that was because, see the aura around Bhai Suthrey Shah. Of course, who will not get enticed by Bhai Suthrey Shah? Everybody, even Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji is enticed by Bhai Suthrey Shah. Why not Jahangir Bacha? So Jahangir Bacha frees Bhai Suthrey Shah, and Bhai Suthrey Shah is now roaming around the cities of Delhi, roaming around in the shops and the towns. And Bhai Suthrey Shah, they spend their days also teaching lessons to these Hindus, to these Muslims who are, practicing falsehood, and in his creative ways giving a lesson to them. So these Maulvis, these Qazi, they observe, they send out spies to spy on Bhai Suthrey Shah, who would then report back to the Maulvi and the Qazi of what Bhai Suthrey Shah is doing. And so these Qazi and this Maulvi, they realize that Bhai Suthrey Shah is not siding the Hindus, is not siding the Muslims, rather he's giving lessons, he's giving Sikhya, teaching a lesson to both Hindus and Muslims. So who is he really? Whose side is he really on? And he's disturbing everybody, people are getting irritated by Bhai Suthrey Shah. So this Qazi one day invited Bhai Suthrey Shah to the house. The head Qazi, the Maulvi, invited Bhai Suthrey Shah to the house and asked him, Suthrey Shah, tell me honestly, are you Hindu or a Muslim? And Bhai Suthrey Shah say, I'm not a Hindu, I'm not a Muslim. And then the Qazi said, you must be one. It's either Hindu or a Muslim. He said, no, I'm a Sikh of my Guru. I'm the Sikh of Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji. And even Guru Nanak Dev Ji, my first Guru, said, na ko Hindu, na ko Musliman. We are all children of Paramatma. We just happen to be in different religion, and we just happen to have different names for Paramatma. The Hindus call him Ram, the Muslims call him Rahman. And so the Qazi, he got a bit upset, he got annoyed that Suthrey Shah was not giving him a direct answer. And so to trick Bhai Suthrey Shah, the Qazi says, why don't you have a meal with us? If you're not a Hindu, you're not a Muslim, I'm pretty sure that you will not, deny having a meal with us. And Bhai Suthrey Shah happily says, of course I would have a meal with you. In fact, I'm more than happy to have a meal with anyone. Either be a low caste, high caste, a Muslim, a Hindu, whoever you may be. If you want to have a meal with me, I will gladly have a meal with you. And so the Qazi says, come to my house tomorrow at noon and we'll have lunch together. So the next day, Bhai Suthrey Shah comes to the house of the Qazi, and with the Qazi there's other Maulvis as well, so there's about 10 to 12 people. And guess what? Bhai Suthrey Shah doesn't come alone. They bring someone with them. And it's not a person, it's a dog. So Bhai Suthrey Shah brings a dog with them to the house of this Qazi to have lunch with them. And all these Qazis looking at Bhai Suthrey Shah and the dog, they get so upset, but they just eat up their anger so it wouldn't show to Bhai Suthrey Shah. So the Qazi just kept quiet and they all sat down together and they were going to have langar. So when Bhai Suthrey Shah's plate was filled with food, what Bhai Suthrey Shah did was to take that langar, that plate, and put it in front of his dog, and the dog started eating. Now at this point, the Qazi got really angry. He couldn't help it and he told Bhai Suthrey Shah, why are you giving this food that we have given you to this dog? And Bhai Suthrey Shah says, this dog eats with me at all time. I've been living with this dog since I came to Delhi. He has slept with me, he eats with me, he goes everywhere with me. You can't expect me not to give him food here in your house. Why? Then this is where Bhai Suthrey Shah started, teasing the Qazi. Do you have a problem with this dog? And the Qazi says, no, I have no problem with this dog. But this food here has been prepared for us human. And it's such expensive food, it's such precious food, and you're giving it to this dog. Can you please put this dog outside of the house so we can eat at peace? We can enjoy our meal. Currently, we can't enjoy our meal looking at how this dog is just eating everything, just mushing up all this food, the rice, and eating everything. And it's making the place so messy. It's not an interesting sight for us. And Bhai Suthrey Shah says, I'm sorry, but this dog is not going to leave. And at that point, Bhai Suthrey Shah says, can't you see that this dog, there is Paramatma in this dog as well? Don't you believe that there is Vaheguru, there is Allah in every creation in this world? Can't you see that Allah which is in you, can't you see it in this dog as well? So why are you discriminating this dog? Bhai Suthrey Shah says, in Gurbani, my Guru says, Ehu vis sansar tum dekh de, ehu har ka roop hai, har roop nadri aaya. Ehu vis sansar tum dekh de, this sansar, this world you see, and everything in it you see, ehu har ka roop hai. This is the form of Hari, this is the form of Vaheguru. Har roop nadri aaya. And everywhere you see, you look at humans, you look at animals, you look at plants, this is the form of Vaheguru. So is this dog. So if this dog leaves, I leave too. And so the Qazi, they started discussing among themselves, what is going on right now and all that. And Bhai Suthrey Shah says that, you know what, I'm not happy being here because you are discriminating this animal here. This shows that you guys are not true Muslims, because a true Muslim would not discriminate anyone. And so Bhai Suthrey Shah takes the dog and leaves the house of the Qazi. And then the Qazi, being so unhappy that Bhai Suthrey Shah has again once more disrespected the Qazi, the Maulvis, they go to Jahangir Badshah and they complain. They say, Jahangir Badshah, this person here that you're so happy with, this Suthrey Shah, do you know what he's doing? He's going in the towns of Delhi and he's dishonoring, he's disrespecting all the Hindus and the Muslims. He's disturbing everyone and he's testing everyone. And he's questioning whether we are true Muslims or we are true Hindus. So please, you need to either punish him or throw him out of Delhi. And so Jahangir Badshah says, call Bhai Suthrey Shah into the darbar. And Bhai Suthrey Shah comes into the darbar of Jahangir. And at this time, Jahangir questions, why are you disturbing all the Muslims and the Hindu? Why can't you leave at peace? And then Bhai Suthrey Shah, he questions back to Jahangir. He says, do you know what's happening in your own city? You call yourself a Badshah, and as a Badshah, as a king, you have to ensure that your people are living at peace, that your people are truthful, that your people are practicing Dharam. You call yourself a true Muslim, but do you even see that your Qazi, your Maulvis are practicing what Prophet Muhammad have told you to practice? No. Go out on the streets and see what your own Muslim brothers and sisters are doing. As a Badshah, you should be fulfilling your duties. But I don't see you doing that. All I see is you sitting in your Mughal darbar and listening to complaints all day. And Jahangir Badshah listened to Bhai Suthrey Shah without any fear. Fearlessly and carefree, they are questioning Jahangir Badshah. Can you imagine someone doing that to the king? But at this point, Jahangir Badshah, he listens to Bhai Suthrey Shah, and inside he's also contemplating on what Bhai Suthrey Shah is telling. And he's realizing that yes, it's true. I don't even know what's happening in my own city. And again, Bhai Suthrey Shah says as well, the reason why I'm giving these lessons to these Hindus and Muslims is because they are not being dharmic. They are not even following the bachans of Prophet Muhammad or the bachans of these Vedas. And all I'm trying to do is give them the teaching that my Guru has given me on how to be dharmic, on how to practice the path of dharma. And so Jahangir Basha says he gets very happy with how Bhai Suthrey Shah is able to speak up so well. And he's very happy that he's a Sikh of Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji. And of course, he doesn't want to make Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji upset. So now Jahangir Basha tells to Bhai Suthrey Shah, I'm very happy with you. I'm very happy with how truthful and how honest you are, how carefree and how fearless you are. Even though I'm a king, you're fearless of me. Now tell me, what gift can I give you? What should I give you as a gift? And so this is the point where Bhai Suthrey Shah, they get very happy. And now they're thinking of what gift should he get which would last for a very long time. And because it's a gift from the king, it must be something really powerful. So Bhai Suthrey Shah says, "O King Jahangir Badshah, I would like you to write a fatwa for me. Write me a hukam. It has to be written because it needs to be, approved. That whoever tries to give me treatment or tries to give me a cure for my problem, that person, be it a doctor or be it a normal person, that person has to give me 1 rupee." And Jahangir Basha couldn't understand. Why do you want to ask for 1 rupee from anybody who gives you a cure or ask you to do this kind of treatment or take this medicine? But because no one can understand the ways of a Bhagat, the ways of a Brahmgyani, so Jahangir Badshah then goes and tells his minister, his Darbar minister, write this fatwa that whoever tries to give treatment or cure or medicine to Suthrey Shah, he will have to give 1 rupee to Bhai Suthrey Shah. And so Bhai Suthrey Shah gets very happy, and so the deal, the Darbar then ended, and Jahangir Basha left the Darbar. So now, Bhai Suthrey Shah, he goes to the minister who's going to write this fatwa. And Bhai Suthrey Shah tries out whether his trick is going to work. And what did they say? They say, "Oh Maulvi Ji, for many days my knee has been hurting, I don't know what to do." And the Maulvi goes like, "Oh, you should put a hot pad on it. You should do this, you should do that." And at that point, Suthrey Shah says, "You have to give me 1 rupee." And then the minister says, "Why must I give you 1 rupee? Here, see this fatwa by the Jahangir Badshah. He says that whoever tries to give me a cure or a treatment, that person has to give me 1 rupee. Then the question comes, why? Why is Suthrey Shah asking for 1 rupee to anyone, from anyone who is trying to give him a cure? Now this was the reason behind it, which is really interesting. This is where the Updesh of Avar Upadesh se Apana Kare. So Bhai Suthrey Shah says, the reason why I'm asking for this is because anybody who comes with a problem, everybody has a solution for it. Everybody will come up with different solution. But the truth is, they themselves have not practiced. They themselves have not tried out that solution and see whether it's really working for them. They themselves might not have gone through that problem to even identify or to even diagnose and tell what is the real cure for it. So what people do is they just hearsay, is they just listen to whatever other people have done or whatever cure other people have told them, and they just go and do the same thing to tell other people as well. So Suthrey Shah asks the minister, "Have you tried it?" And the minister says, "No, I've not had any godda pain before. I've not had pain in my knees. So why are you giving me your cure then? Since you have not had knee pain before, why are you giving me your cure? Since you don't even know whether the cure is going to work for you. And this is the reason why I'm going to get 1 rupee from you. This is because you are practicing falsehood. You're not speaking the truth. One should only speak based on experience, not on hearsay. Sikhi is that as well. And so this way, by Suthrey Shah, everywhere they go, they tested each and every person they meet. And they'll just say, "This adokhada," and the person will try to give a cure, and Bhai Suthrey Shah would get money from them. Once, what happened, Bhai Suthrey Shah heard about this person called Daulat Ram, who was a shopkeeper. But this Daulat Ram, he was very selfish. he used to keep all his money to himself, and he would not give any money to the mandir, he would not give any money to the poor people. If someone would come to his shop to ask for food but has no money, Daulat Ram would ask him to go away and will not help this person. So Bhai Suthrey Shah is now going to teach him a lesson, and how he does it, it's really interesting. Bhai Suthrey Shah takes the dirt, takes the mud, and makes his face looks black. So he has dark appearance. So he puts mud all over his body, he puts black ink all over his face, so he looks really dark and he looks really scary. And he has black cloth all over his body. So it's as if he looks like a jamdoot. Because if you try to picture a jamdoot, a messenger of death, you picture this dark looking being, black in color, you know, with red eyes and scary looking. And Bhai Suthrey Shah, they made that appearance for themselves. They had red looking eyes, dark face, and wore black colored cloth. And Bhai Suthrey Shah went to the shop of Daulat Ram. And Daulat Ram didn't look up, and Bhai Suthrey Shah says that, hey Daulat Ram, look up, I've come to fetch you. And Daulat Ram says, fetch me to go where? Oh, don't you know? Look at me. Who am I? Look at me, and who do you think I am? And Daulat Ram says, I don't know who you are, but you do look scary. Who are you? Daulat Ram asks. Suthrey Shah says, I am Jamdoot, and I've come to take you. It's not the end of your life. You are now going to hell, and I've come to fetch you. It's your time now. And Daulat Ram gets scared. What do you mean it's my time? What do you mean you're Jamdoot? I can see you. You know, I'm pretty sure other people can see you as well. And Suthrey Shah says, yes, normally those people who are going to die when their end is coming, they can see Jamdoots. And now you can see me, which means your time has come. Now you have to come with me. And Daulat Ram gets scared. And he says, no, I don't believe you. I'm pretty sure other people can see you as well. I'm going to ask the opposite shopkeeper to tell me whether he can see you as well or not. And if he can, then you're lying to me. I don't believe you. But Daulat Ram was scared. And so Bhai Suthrey Shah says, yeah, of course. Call out to the shopkeeper and ask him if he can see me. But know this, the moment you call out to him, that will be your last breath, and I will take you from here. So do you want to take that risk? Do you want to take that chance of calling out to him? Because that will be your last breath. And Daulat Ram, he gets scared, and he doesn't call out to the shopkeeper. He just keeps quiet, and he says, why have you come to take me? I've done nothing wrong. I've done nothing bad. Why have you come to take me? And then Bhai Suthrey Shah says, in your account, Dharamraj says that you have not been doing anything good. You have not been giving money to the poor people. You have not been helping the poor people. You have not been giving your daswand. And because you have not done any of this good karam, it's time now to take you to hell, where you're going to be punished. And Daulat Ram then begs to the Jamdoot and says that, please forgive me. Please give me some more time. I will give my daswand. In fact, if you want my money, I'll give my money to you. But please spare me more time. Give me more time in this world. Don't take me away now. And Bhai Suthrey Shah says, I don't need the money. It's not for me. Jamdoots have no need for money. We can take anything. And Daulat Ram says that, what should I do? Tell me then. And Bhai Suthrey Shah says, well, I will let you go on one condition. And that condition is that every day you have to give 10% of your daswand to the mandir or to the poor people. Make sure you give food and money and clothing to the poor people. Every day you have to do this. And the day you don't do it, that day I will come back again and I will take you away from here. And so Daulat Ram, he says, yes, definitely, I will do as you say, and thank you for giving me more time. Thank you for giving me a chance, a new life, so I can correct my mistakes and I can walk on the path of Dharma. And so Bhai Suthrey Shah says then he leaves from there, and he laughs, and he sees from the back of the shop, he just peeps and he sees how Daulat Ram is so scared, and he sees that at that point a beggar comes to the shop of Daulat Ram, and Daulat Ram was about to shoo him away, but he remembers the Jamdoot, and he says, come, take this money, take this food, come. And every day, please make sure you come to my shop so I could give you some money and I can give you some food to eat. And the beggar gets really happy. And so these are ways where Bhai Suthrey Shah, he would teach lessons, he would give Sikhya, and perhaps his interesting ways of correcting people's mindset really worked their ways, especially in Delhi. And so he came back, and Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji, they met Jahangir, and Jahangir, he became so fond of Bhai Suthrey Shah. And Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji was very happy that a meeting between Bhai Suthrey Shah and Jahangir Badshah was a good one. And it just strengthened the relationship even more. And Jahangir Badshah and his wife Noor Jahan would always want to have the darshan, or would always want to meet Bhai Suthrey Shah and just want to listen to him cracking a joke, or perhaps saying something silly or something so truthful that both Jahangir Badshah and Noor Jahan would be attracted to. Just like today's Sakhi, it was a really interesting one for me as well, because we get to learn so many things from Bhai Suthrey Shah, and how being a Brahmgyani, being a Bhagat, he was so carefree, he was so fearless in his ways of giving Sikhya to the Hindus and to the Muslims as well. He didn't care about what people would say about him. He didn't care about what people would taunt him or torment him, or even come to the extent where the Qazi even wanted to kill him. He was not afraid, but he knew that his Guru would protect him. So today I would end this Sakhi of Bhai Suthrey Shah. So we've had 3 days where we speak about Bhai Suthrey Shah, and I hope that these Sakhis of these Bhagats, of these Brahmgyanis, these Guru Sikhs have inspired us, and perhaps we can then walk on the path of Sikhi, get inspired by one of these Bhagats that we really connect to, and be closer to Guru. So please forgive me for any mistakes I made. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.